Again, thank you for taking the interview. I appreciate it very much. Your profile is amazing. You've got project management skills, um, project planning, training. You've been a project manager, a researcher, a development and policy expert. I mean, the list goes on and on. Pretty amazing. So what I'd like to start to do first is to review your education and training. Why don't you, I think I have these kind of from the oldest at the bottom and the newest near the top. Why don't you take me through what drew you into these education areas and what you learned there?
Thank you, Stephen. If I start with my educational experience with University of Melbourne during 2014 and 15, that was a master's in development studies. Basically, that focused on development, basically international development. And I especially focused on project management. There is a lot of focus for project management. And to be more specific, I did my thesis in project, particularly participatory monitoring and evaluation, and project leadership in general. So that education was very much relevant to my professional background because I completed this degree while I was in my profession. Very recently, you see, it's in 2014 and 15. So I learned project management a lot, basically the leadership aspect of project management. As you know, there are three aspects as per PMI talent triangle. So one is project leadership. So I learned a lot about project leadership from my Master of Development Studies in the University of Melbourne. And one more thing I should add to this, during my studies at the University of Melbourne, I was awarded the Leaders in Communities Award. So I just want to mention it here.
One thing I noticed in each one of your educational experiences, you're first in class. So you study and you study well. You perform extremely well. So you kind of focused with your bachelor's of in business administration, and you picked up the project management a little bit later on. And then you got into master's of MBA. So really, a lot of it has to do with the management.
Yeah. You know, in my MBA and also in my BBA, there was also a subject like project management. And this is, project management is also a kind of management, right? So I find a lot of similarities in business administration and project management, particularly the managerial aspects and tools and techniques I got from my MBA and BBA is very much applicable in my project management career. So I think my BBA and also my MBA was my foundation for my project management understanding and the growth in this sector.
Okay. Just take a little look at your experience, the sort of things that you've done. Again, these are kind of the older at the bottom towards the top. So talk about these experiences. What drew you into them? What caused you to transition from one to another? What was learned? That sort of thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, I started my career at Ministry of Commerce as a civil servant. Ministry of Commerce, I actually started with a portfolio of projects. With my designation, you see, Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Commerce. And particularly, I looked after all the projects in Ministry of Commerce. So it's like project management office. I was in charge of that. From that, I got the special interest to have my PMP and all my further education related to project management. So just as a entry level in my career, I started in 2010 and found that project management is very interesting. And also, I found that in our public sector projects, there, a lot of wastage are there just because of not compliant with project management tools and techniques and the standards. So then I actually deep into it. I got further promotion in the same ministry as senior assistant secretary to look after wider ranges of projects. Then I took 2 years study leave and completed my master's at the University of Melbourne. And after my study, I came back and further joined the same ministry and worked for 1 year plus. And then I take a leave from the government to start a contractual 3 years period with the World Bank. This is also a project. I joined at the World Bank as project manager. There I lead a team. This is basically a large team. I manage 30 people directly and also around 100 people in my extended team, home and abroad. So now I'm with project management with the World Bank, and I actually found a lot of interest while managing a team. I should not say managing a team. I actually lead the team, motivate the team towards the project goal, actually.
That's a pretty big team.
And I missed one point, Stephen, but in between, I served very few months with another ministry, which is Ministry of Labor and Employment, in which I worked a lot with sustainable development goals. Actually, I had reviewed and made the SDG action plan for Bangladesh. I was one of the core members for that. So that is another dimension in my experience working with SDGs and localizing SDGs in the context of Bangladesh.
Yeah, I saw that you actually have been to 27 different countries.
Yes.
In that 27 different countries, is that related to the type of commerce work you were doing or the banking work? 27 countries.
Okay, mostly they are related to international trade, sometimes WTO issues, World Trade Organizations. And apart from that, I have traveled a few countries just for PMI reasons. I worked as subject matter expert for PMI, particularly for PMP exam development. So I traveled some countries solely for PMI reasons, and rest of them are for my international trade related business.
Okay, I saw that you had quite a bit of project management institute experience. Looks like you've done some volunteer work also.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in your profile, you said that you're an entrepreneurial project manager, and that you're a natural problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
And you like to help individuals and organizations to succeed in their transformational projects. So, if you were to identify what your passion is, the thing in the project management profession that really turns you on, that you really enjoy doing, you get satisfaction out of it, what would that be?
Okay. Yes, you rightly mentioned that my professional passion is to actually identify and solve problems. Wherever there is a problem, I think this is an opportunity for me as a project manager, as a project professional. So I believe that when a problem I see in my organization or even in my personal life, I think there is a solution to that. I find it out and I actually solve the problem. Once I solve the problem, identifying the problem and solving the problem, there is a lot of things in between. I just want to see a lot of problems and solution to that problem. That's my passion, actually.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting. You've written some books. I didn't talk about those books, but
Yeah.
you had I think one is called "Lead Your Life Like a Winner" and make a smart
Yeah.
choice in life.
Yeah.
You're published too, and it kind of comes out and reflects and sounds like part of your passion actually there in what you do.
Yes. And just one thing, the first book, Lead Your Life Like a Winner, this was my first book, and I got motivated to write this book after I was awarded the Leaders in Communities Award. That award actually motivated me to write something, and this was a book which is first in its kind, particularly in Bangladesh, mainly based on project management. So I took the learning from my project management experience that can be applied to personal development. So I took all the lessons which can be actually applied to our personal life, and we can develop ourselves. And I argued in that book that our entire life is the most important project for us, and we ourselves is a project manager for that life project, and we can design our own project as a project manager, and we can implement this project successfully. And at the end of the day, we will be a successful project manager for our life project. So that's the underlying central argument for the entire book.
It's an interesting approach to shaping your life. I presume there's a copy available in English that I can find. Is it available on Amazon by chance?
Okay. Not yet in Amazon, but it's widely circulated in Bangladesh. We have online delivery partner, which is rokumari.com. You can find one from there. They can arrange. And definitely this is written in English, the first one. But the second one, Make Smart Choice in Life, is in Bangla. I mean, in our own language, not yet translated into English. Thus, if I speak on the second book, this is something different from the first one. In our everyday life, we need to go for a lot of choices, right? Every day we face a lot of options. We need to choose one. So I just made the contrast between the smart choice and the dark choice. One is the smart, which is good for us, and the other is not smart, which I showed there as dark choice. So these two books are very much important. Yeah. But first one is very much relevant to project management. Yeah.
Right. All right. Something fun you can share with us about yourself. Maybe hobbies you like, things you like to do when you're not working. Maybe sports you play or like to watch. Or maybe just something interesting about you that people generally wouldn't know.
Okay, thank you. So in terms of hobbies, right at this moment, my hobby, if I can have some time to write, my mind gets refreshed. So writing is my hobby right at this moment. Another hobby I used to cherish, in Bangladesh, basically self-drivers are very minimal. There are a separate profession called drivers, but for me, I used to drive myself, and this is also one of my hobbies. Every weekend, I go for long drive with my family members and friends. So this is one of my important hobbies right at this moment.
All right. So you provided this contact information for those who watch this interview. If you would like to reach out to Lutfur, you can reach him at this email address. Also, his LinkedIn profile ideas here. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn and ask to connect to him there.
Exactly.